Masechta Sanhedrin. We're starting from Yud Zayin Amud Aleph, but we're starting from Tez Zayin Amud Beis, the last line on the Amud. Sanhedrin Gedolah Hisa. The Sanhedrin Gedolah was of 71 Dayanim. Like it says in the Pasuk, Asfa Li Shivim Skenim Ezikni Yisol, and Moshe together with them was 71. Rabbi Yehuda says it's 70. My time the Rabbanan. What is the reason that of the Rabbanan that they say that it is 71? Because the Amri Moshe al Gabeim, because they say that Moshe was together with his Canaan, with the 70. So together with his Canaan, 70 Canaan, and him is 71. Where does this Zog the Yemada? That's your reason. You say because Moshe al Gabeim. So Zog the Yemada Amakra. It says in the Pasuk in the gate for the Shivim Skenim, V'Syatzvu Sham Imach, that you should all stand with me. Imach means is mashma that you, Moshe Rabbeinu, is together with the 70 Skenim, which makes it 71. Rabbi Yehuda who says that Moshe wasn't combined with the 70 Skenim. So how does he learn Imach? So he says Imach, the kavanah is that they should all stand outside the Oyel Moed and not enter inside Mishum Shechina, because the Shechina is resting inside. But the pasuk is not come to tell you to combine Moshe with the Shivim Skenim. It's just like the 70 Skenim should stand outside because of the Shechina is inside. So too Moshe Rabbeinu should stand outside with the 70 Skenim, but not that they're combined with Tzaddik to 71 to make us an Eden. So the mother Rabbanan.
How come they couldn't stay together with Shechina? The 70 usually association with Shechina.
Yeah, Vashtei, but here he's. I don't know exactly what happened over there, but it says over there they should stand outside of the Shechina. I think there it's going to talk about that. The Eibishter was going to then take part of the what was resting on Moshe and put it on the 70 Skenim. We're going to learn more about it. Rabbi Yehuda that holds that Moshe wasn't a mitzvah. Imach, what's the kavanah? That they should start. We just said it. Rabbanan. So according to Rabbanan, from where do they know that it's 71? Amakra, because it says when they get to the 70 Skenim, Benasu itcha b'masa'am, that they will carry the burden of the Am, the Skenim will carry with you. Itcha, you mean together with you, including Moshe Rabbeinu, which is 71 Dayanim. Rabbi Yehuda, itcha b'daim lecha. Rabbi Yehuda says, no, itcha doesn't mean that it means together that they're going to carry the burden. The itcha has come to teach us that the 70s, that the Skenim have to be doima to Moshe Rabbeinu in yichus, that there shouldn't be a pagam in his yichus, and shleimim beguf, meaning no pagamim, and also no mumim in them. So it says they hold that halacha. They hold that the halacha is that the Yonim should be b'deimelach. So where do they know that from? How do they know that the Yonim have to be similar to Moshe Rabbeinu? So they say there's another itach. It says mevehakil me'alecha, that the Eibishter says, I'll make it easier from upon you, and nasi itach, and they will carry the burden with you. Nafka, that's where he learns it out. That pasuk is talking about the Sanhedrin Ketana. So we learn Yalfa Sanhedrin Ketana, Sanhedrin Ketana. Just like by the Sal, we can even say Madach. Just like the Sanhedrin Ketana, the Dayanim had to be similar to Moshe Rabbeinu in no moment beguf, and the yichus has to be good. So too, the Dayanim by the Sanhedrin Gedolah also for sure has to be like you said. It's a more cheshev Sanhedrin. So before we go further, I'm just going to tell you a little bit of a story over here with Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Erev Rav was making him so crazy. They said, man here, man there, man everywhere. We want real world food. We want meat. Okay, so the Eibishter said, okay, no problem. I'll give them slav. And the slav will be enough. I'll give them for a month. I'll provide them with a month of food, of meat. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, how could it be? Even if you take out all the fish from the Yam, it's not possible.
It's not enough?
It's so much. A whole month for all the Yam. Oh, the Eibishter says he can do it. And of course, the Eibishter says, you'll see. Anyway, we pay on Mamish. But from them being very angry, from them making the Eibishter angry, the Eibishter started off like I made a fire in the corner of the Machna, and then of course Moshe Rabbeinu had spoken with the Eibishter to calm it down, and he told them, then he complained to the Eibishter, I thought you're going to be nice to me, it's too much of a burden, they're complaining, we have to give them the meat. So the Eibishter gave them, of course, first of all, the Eibishter gave them meat. The Eibishter was upset because of the Eid of Rav. Whoever ate that meat ended up dying. But he covered it with that.
He gave him poison.
And Ba'aleischa.
So they don't have no behema. This is right, it's a bird. They don't have no sheep or any. How they travel? Why did they shecht and eat the meat? They're not allowed to do that. I know the stories about the.
Okay, but this is the story about Leischa. So he gave them, and they were complaining too much, and of course they used to punish those. But then Moshe Rabbeinu was complaining, it's too much. You give me the whole burden of the Am. So the Eibishter said, okay, no problem. I'll make it lighter for you. I'll do it with the Shimon Skenim. And here we're going to learn about what's going on. Tanu Rabbanu says, it says, Eldad u'Meidad. Two people remained in the camp. Others say Eldad u'Meidad was a brother of Moshe Be'arei from the mother's side, and then there was a story with Rab Hillel Hagoyin told Amram, Rav Amram told Rav Amram that he saw on the Matzeva from Eldad u'Meidad, and it says they were brothers to Arain from the mother's side. Anyway, before Mam Sheino made that they were tzaddikim, Nevi'im. So Yeshem, others say that they remained in the Machna. What does that mean? Yeshem, others say Bekalf in the Shtayr. They remained in the box. We're going to have to understand what does it mean in the box. It says at the time when the Eibishter said to Moshe, gather for me 70 elders from the Yidden. How can I gather 70 from each Shevet? It doesn't come out to a right cheshbon. Every Shishmakol Shevet l'Shevet, if I'll take 6 from each Shevet, 6 times 12 is 72. You only have 70 according to the Rabbanim. Nimsu Shnaim is saying, so you have 2 extra. If you're going to say ever Chamish Mikol Shevet l'Shevet, if I take 5, 12 times 5 is 60. It's a Nimsu Asarach HaSeinim. So you have 10 missing. Every Shishim Shevet Zeh, Chamish Shevet Zeh. If you're going to say, okay, I'll take 6 from 10 Shvatim, and 5 from 2 Shvatim, I'll take 5. So you have 12, 70. Pinklich, okay. That's no good either. So I'm going to make jealousy between the Shvatim. Why are you taking 6 from them? Was Mizayin Yishtat Zeh good for Zeh? Why are you taking 6 from them and 5 from us? So what did he do? So Bered Shisha. The Rebbe says he took 6 from each one. So there were 72. Vehevi Shimon Shnayim Piskin, and he brought 72 Tzetlach al Shimon Kosev Zakin Ushnayim Hiniyah Cholot. On 70 of the Ptokim he wrote Zakin. That means you're part of this Canaan. And whoever took out and said Zakin, you're one of this Canaan. Shimon's Canaan. But there were 2 Tzetlach that were Cholok, empty. Those that took the empty, out. Kalala, he mixed up all the tzedlach. So and he mixed it up, and the son of Bekalfi, and he put it into a box. So that's what it meant Bekalfi. So Moshe said to the Shimon Shnayim Skenim, go, come to the box, take out 1 settle. Call Mishal B'Yadei Zakein. He says, you're the Zakein. The Eibishter made you holy as one of the Skenim. Mishal B'Yadei Cholak. And the one that came out of empty patek, he says, Moshe Rabbeinu said, the Eibishter doesn't want you in part of the Sanhedrin. I can't do nothing. The Eibishter doesn't want you. But Peil Mamish, we said there were 2 that remained in the Machna. Who was the 2? Eldad u'Meidad. So there were 2 people that took out blanks. Their 2 remained in the box because they thought they're not worthy of becoming Zekanim, so they didn't even show up. So there were 2 that remained in the box. That's what it means, Bekalfi, Nishtayu. When we said that it remained in the box, they didn't want to take it. They didn't think it's them. We're not. Yeah. We see a similar story that they made such a girdle when they couldn't figure it out. Where? It says that the B'chainim lost that doing the Aveda was given over to the Leviim. But the Bechirim had to redeem themselves from being so holy like a Levi to a Varnois Levi, so they had to redeem themselves. Either with Chamesh Shkolim or redeem themselves, make exchange with the Levi that takes does the avodah in my place, so that's the exchange for me. So what happened? Is you should take 5 shkolim per head. Every 5 shkolim per head. That's what Mesha said. How am I going to do it to the Bechayim Yisrael? Because the Bechayim were there were more people of Bechayim than Leviim. So he says, if I'll tell to one of the Bechayim, pay the 5 shkolim and then redeem yourself. Yemeli will say to me, what's taste of the cup? I'm not paying you a penny. This Levi, he's my exchange. I'm not giving a dime. So what did he have to do, Moshe? I mean, he couldn't figure it out. So Hevi Esim Ushnaim Alafim Piskim because Alim Ben Levi. He brought 23,000 setlach, which was said Ben Levi, because that's how many there were. There were only 23,000 exactly of Leviim. Val Shleisha Ushivim Umasayim, and on the 273 that was extra. Kosev Alayim. So there's 237 extra. I'm sorry, 273 extra B'chayrim. What do we do with them? So Kosev Alayim Chamisha Shkolim. So he wrote 273 that you have to pay 5 shkolim, and the other 22,000 he wrote Ben Levi was the pigeon. Below he mixed them. No, the son of a couple, he put it in a box. And he told Moshe, said to every b'chayir, take your petek, and whatever it says, that's what you do. Misha Ben Levi, the one that picked Ben Levi, that was his redemption. I'm like for Ben Levi. The Ben Levi already redeemed you. You don't have to give a penny. Well, you got to pay, baby. You got to pay 5 shkolim to get yourself out. I'm like 10 pidyon chavetzei. Pay the 5 shkolim and then you're redeemed. So you see a similar case. That's how through a gadol you figure it out. Yeah. Going back to the story. So Eldad and Medad, you remember they remained in the camp. So Shimon says, Eldad and Medad stayed in the camp. They didn't even bother coming by the Skenim. When the time of David said to Moshe, gather for me 70 Skenim. Eldad and Medad, us? We're not fit to be. So we started staying in the Machne. We're not part of those Skenim. David said, since you lowered yourself so low, I'm going to make you greater than the rest of this kingdom. What greatness did he add to them? And all the Nevi'im had only at that time a Nevi'us, and then it stopped. But Haim, Eldad, Meidad, Nisnabdu, V'loi Pasku, they continued to have Nevi'us. They continued to have Nevi'us. What did Eldad and Meidad have Nevi'us of? Amru, they had a Nevi'us. Meisha, in the future, Meis is going to die. And Yeshua Machnas Yisrael Laaretz. And Yeshua will be the one that they'll bring the Yidden into Eretz Yisrael. Abba Chonan Aimam, Yishmael Abelazar, Al Iskei Slov. He said Nevi'us about that the Eivishter in the future is going to give this meat. Hey, Misnab, that's what they said about Nevi'us. Ali Slav, rise. These birds. Yeah. Rav Nachman Amar Al Iskei Goy Umagig Hoyim Esnabim. They were talking about in the time right before Mashiach will come. So when Goig, the king of Magog, and with him many other nations will come to fight against they'll come against the Yidden. That's this man right before Mashiach. So that's what he said Nevi'us. Others are saying that's what it is. That interpreting the Syria with Lebanon with all that's how they're interpreting it. They're fighting all against the Yidden. It says they're going to come fight against the Yidden, all these nations. It doesn't mock him inside the Chaim. Yeah, halavai. Yeah, Kayom Hashem. So says Hashem Elokim, Ha'tohu Asher Dibat B'Yom HaKadmonim. Is it you that meaning Gog and Magog, which I have spoken in the earlier days, B'Yad Avad Navi Yisrael Hanibim B'Yom Mahem, that I had spoken through my servants, the Nevi'im, who already said Nevi'us about Gog and Magog, that Muhammad that will happen right before Mashiach. Shonim, years ago, Lahavi Yisrael Aleim, to bring upon these nations against the Yidden, and the Yidden will win, and Mashiach will come. So when it says Shonim, it doesn't mean years. I'll take you Shonim. Don't read it years. Ella Shnayim. Read it 2. According to this Rasha,
Mashiach now.
who's the 2? He means the 2 Nevi'im that said Nevi'us from years ago. This is Eldad and Meidad. Who is the same? The two Nevi'im that said the same. The Nevi'im the same time. Nevu Achas. This one Nevu. Aviyim Eldad and Meidad. That's Eldad and Meidad. Amar the Tana said, "Kol Nevi'im kolun nisnabu upasko." All the other Nevi'im, they said Nevi'us at the one time, at that time when David anointed them, and they stopped. Hey, but they didn't have that high level anymore. But the Elohim, Eldad made that Nisnabu like Pascha. They said Nevi'us and didn't stop. Thank you, the Pascha. How do we know by the other Skanim they stopped having Nevi'us? Elohim, maybe in the same it says by the Skanim, by Yisnabu they had Nevi'us or Yasafu, and it stopped. It means and no more and stopped. I'll show you that Lo Yasaf doesn't mean it stopped. It means just the opposite. It continued. Elamiato, this that it says when they were standing al Har Sinai, it says that Hashem's voice was so powerful, and it did not stop. It did not stop till the Eibishter finished all the dibris. Here also we should say that the kavanah lo yasaf means it did not stop. You're learning that lo yasaf no more. It stopped. You lo yasaf. Here it says by the Maimon Hasina, it can faket and lo pasiku. So how are you going to explain it? Ella says Gemara Hacha si vayisnabu. Here it says benegay to the other neviim that they had in B'lashon Haba in the past they had nevius. Hasam but benegay to the Meidad it says ksiv misnabdim in the future. That they're saying Adayim is not they're still saying Nevi'us, not like the other Shkenim that stopped. In fact, you want to be Shleima. According to the one that says Eldad Meidad had a Nevi'us that Moshe maced, that Moshe died. I know to see if this is what it says that Yeshua said to Moshe, and it wasn't only Yeshua, Geshem, the son of Moshe, heard how Eldad Meidad said that Moshe is going to die in the future, and Yeshua will bring the Yidden into Eretz Yisrael. And he said it over to he started to say it over to Moshe, and Yeshua heard it. So he said, "Adoni Moshe climb, Master Moshe, let's destroy Eldad Meidad. Look what they're doing." But according to the Mandama that says the Nevi'us was about the Slav.
So why should
No, so he felt that when you're saying about Moshe dying, they deserve to be destroyed. What kind of Nevi'us is this?
But did they say what they wanted to say?
Oh, I mean, they shouldn't have said it. They didn't even know that that the real Nevi'im. Anyway, but according to Mandi Amma, the Nevi'us was about the Slav, about Gog and Magog. Why did he say Master Moshe destroying? Why? I mean, it's not the derech hara, it's to say Nevi'us while Moshe in front of Moshe Rabbeinu. The Havelek Talmud, it's like a Talmud, Hamid Halach Lefnei Rabbi, that's passing Halach in front of his Rebbe. And we learned before in the Gemara that you have to be at least 3 pasoyis away in order to paskin, and it shouldn't be considered Lefnei Rabbi. And here he was right next to him and saying Nevi'us. So the Gemara now it's a different question. It's understood according to the one that says that the 2 Nevi'us that they had was the Slav and Gog and Magog. This is what's written. Me yiting kol amasham Nevi'im. Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Who cares? Halavai, they should give Nevi'us to all the Yidden. What do I care?" Moshe meis. But according to Mandi Amma that says that they said Nevi'us that Moshe is going to die. He said he would have been happy that more people would say Nevi'us that he's dying. Of course not. But says the Gemara, no. The pshat is Leisinu Kamei. Yeshua didn't end off telling Moshe what the Nevi'us, what Nevi'us they had about Moshe that he's going to die. So Moshe didn't know it's about him dying. So they told him that they have Nevi'us. So Moshe said, "Halavai, everybody should have Nevi'us." He didn't know that talking about him. Zog the Gemara, my
How
kala.
come Moshe should know? He's also knowing.
Huh?
He should know.
Yeah. Zog the Gemara, my. So what's the kavanah claim? That claim. What's the kavanah that they should be destroyed? Amalai. So Yeshua said to Moshe, no, he didn't mean to say kill them. Hatel aleim tzachei tzibur ein kol mei aleim. Say, give them the burden of becoming a skonim to deal with the tzibur. And the only way the Shechina could be Sheira and have Nevi'is is only mitoich simcha. But when you carry the burden of the tzibur and the hest al atzaris, you're mitoich atzvos. You're sad, so you. So the kavetz, so there's no Shechina. So that's what he meant. Destroy them. You have to be happy. If this Hashem is simcha, they can. Yeah, and that's the only way they can get Nevi'is. But if you put the burden of the tzibur, the whole Nevi'is will go away. Is ba'atzvos and sure. There was, I don't remember who it was. One of it could be one of the Abayim or one of the tzaddikim before he would learn. He put down lots of money in front of him. So that's what he did. Gold coins. Anyway, so that's it. Yeah. Zog the Gemara, Minayin lahavi yitzleisha. So here we said that by Sanhedrin Ketana, officially it's supposed to be 20. It says V'tzilo Eida, V'shafto Eida, V'tzilo Eida. Eida is 10. We brought it out. Eida means 10. It says twice Eida is 20. Now you have to have Roiv in order to Lara. You need 2 more as a Roiv, so it's 22. So you should, in order there should be a majority to convict somebody, you need Lera. To convict somebody, you need 2 extra. So you need 22. But 22 is an even number. So therefore we have to add 1. We can't have an even bezdin. So Gemara says, even if you have 23, you're not going to find a roiv of 2. Why? If you have 11 dayanim that are saying he's zeicha, and 12 are saying he's chayiv, so akatechadu, then you can't punish him because it's only 1 more. You have only shnei masa versus 11. You have to have a roiv. You have to have 2 more. If 11 are saying zeicha and 12 are saying he's chayiv, so you only one, and you need 2. So where do you have 2? And if you're going to say, oh, the way is going to be a roiv because 10 will say zeicha, and 13 will say he's chayiv. So that's not a roiv of 2. That's a roiv of plus habe. It's a roiv of 3. Where do you find a roiv of 2? It's like Rabbi Abo says like this. He says you cannot find a majority of 2 for Lara. Ella b'maisifin. Only when you have to add to the Sanhedrin Aktana. And the Gemara will say later on. Let's say, huh? For Roiv, in order to be a 2 in the Roiv, only 2 in the Roiv to convict, you need to add. What's the case? Let's say you have 11 who say Zeicha, 11 say he's Chayiv. And so you have 22. And the 23rd one says, I don't know which way to pass him. So he's like, any day, if the one that has to make the majority says any Yadea, so it's 11-11. So you add another 2. So when you add another 2, so those 2 that will make him chayiv, that will be a reiv of 2. That's when you're adding. Okay. So that's how it's possible. Only when you have to add. You have 11 and 11. 11 says zeicha, 11 says chayiv. One says, the 23rd one says, I don't know. You bring another 2. And the 2 go with the 11 that says chayiv, so you have 13 against 11, so you have 2. Says the Gemara, the Sanhedrin Gedola, Yehuda, by the Sanhedrin Gedola, according to Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar that he says shivim, you only need 70. So then you can have that there'll be 36 that are mechayiv, and 34 that will be mezakeh. So you have a rev of 2. If you hold like Rabbi Yehuda that it was an equal Sanhedrin, an equal number of 70. So how you have by 72 that will be a majority leda, 36 will say chayiv, and 34 will say zeicha. Mini potter. Rabbi Abo said, "B'maisifin oisim bezdin shakol lechatchila." By maisifin, it becomes a bezdin shakol lechatchila. Meaning, if you have to add 2. Meaning, one of the Dayanim say, I don't know. So then you add automatically 2. And when you add another 2, so then you have a majority of 2. So Svaktiba, the 2, and the 2 makes the majority, L'ra to be Mechayven. But you want to pshitas, the chaposh the zach. What are you coming to be Mechadish here? What? So it says, you want to know, there's a big lump this here. I would have thought, Hi, the Kama any Yadei command Isidami. The one that said, the 23rd Dayan, he says, I don't know. I would say he's still considered as a Dayan. And if he'll say something about the din, he'll change his mind. He'll say, at the beginning I was misupik. Now I'm going to say he's chayiv. Kamash 1 comes to and tells us, no. The moment he said he doesn't know, he's out. He's cancelled. You're not a part of the case anymore. If he starts giving a reason why he should be chayiv, if he said any yadeya is gone, it's too late. Rav Kahana said, Sanhedrin shedanu adam ech ben din nefashis v'ra'u kulam l'chayva peit neisei. If the whole bezin, the ganze bezin say he's chayiv, nishkeyener says he's potter, then he's going to be potter. My time, what's the reason? Because given the gemiri, since we learned in the pasuk that you need halonas din lemevet leizles chusa, when a whole bezin sees that he's chayiv, so bezin, what does the Torah say? Sleep it over. Maybe you'll find a schus in this guy. Sleep it over. Chapnish, yeah, Avshem will change. But honey too like chazle, and these dayanim, if they're still they don't see anything, so then we can be giving the din based on them, because there has to be a back and forth. Some say seiches, some not. Alle sagen nicht, and the halanas, the Torah bavant halanas adin as soll werden etwas. Under those sagen the opposite, and you don't have that, so that the alle sagen chayiv is part. The whole thing is no, but alle sagen chayiv, it's bottle, because you have to have another side to go back and forth. Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan said, we don't put people in Sanhedrin unless they're tall and they're wise and good looking. That therefore, and Rashi says, Balei Koima, so that looks should put a fear on the people. The Balei Dinim shouldn't think they can lie. They'll see it. These guys are people. They see through you. Distinguished people, yeah. Balei Zikna, older people. Balei Shafim. Here Rashi says Balei Shafim, a couple of Shafim. One shot is Balei Shafim. Yeah, you have to know if he's a mechushav or not. So they have to know if it's kishu or not to punish him for kishu. Or Balak Shafim, they could disappear. So they have to know that this guy to stop him from disappearing for his punishment. Okay, they have to know all 70 languages. Because it has to be, it can't be 8 mipi 8 mipi 8. It has to be directly from the guy. So that's why we don't want to have a matugman. We cannot place a person in Sanhedrin, only somebody who was able, is so sharp that he can be Matar Hasheretz Minatera. Why? Because over here, we're going to soon speak about it. So what does he want to say over here? That he should be able to learn out from Makava Chema that it's L'roi L'tar Hasheretz. If the Torah wouldn't write befeish that it's Tamei. Why do we need such a person? Because over here, when you have a guy who's guilty, you have to take a person who's 100% guilty and be able to come up with something to be mezakeh. Yeah, so we need to have, those are the type of people that we need in the Sanhedrin. So that's what he was saying. Only such people we put in the Sanhedrin. Rav said, Ani, he says, ich can machna kavachema to be, I can make a kavachema to be metahid a sheretz. How? He makes a kavachema. Ma nochash hameim is madoch a nochash. It kills people. And it's marbet tumah. It kills people. A person becomes a dead person is a abatuma. But the tar, the nachash itself stays tar. Sheretz sheidamim is a marbet tumah. Sheretz is not harmful, and it can kill people, but it's tamei. Ain't a din sheyei tar. It shouldn't have a din that it should be tar. It should be tar because nachash which makes avisatuma. Because it kills people, he himself is tired. So Sheretz that cannot kill people for sure should be tired. So it's not a tzugleich. It's not a comparison. Neither to have a kite just like by a kite. You have these thorns. You give a shtoch, by the time you walk in like a knife, you can get killed. They're derna. It can kill a person, and nevertheless the kite is garnished, doesn't become tamei. So it has nothing to do with the kites killing somebody that itself should become. The slang is like the kites. Yeah. Sagt die Gemara, aber Yehuda Marav, kol ir sheim mashnayim ledaber. If there is any city that doesn't have a minimum of two that can speak all 70 languages, and want to understand the 70 languages, we don't put them in the Sanhedrin. So Beisa have a shlisha. In the city of Beisa, there were 3 that knew how to speak all 70 languages. In Yavna, there were 4 people of the Rayonim who could speak all 70 languages. All 70. Yeah, you need at least 2. But he brings you 2 Batitidim and Beisa, there were 3, Yavna, there were 4. Rabbi Lazar, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Akiva, Shimna Hatimni, Don Lefnei Bekarka. Shimna Hatimni, why does it say Don Lefnei Bekarka? He didn't have smicha, he was very young. So he would sit on the karka and debate with them.
What could he sit in the chair?
No, but because he wasn't a musmach. I think he brings that down over here.
Musmach was sitting on the chair?
Shimon Hatimani Hayatalmud, the Loi Nismach, Kim Shalei Bala Klaus Zikna. He didn't reach the right age. You remember before, as Al Sabach, he couldn't have smicha. He was too young. That's why they didn't consider Rabbi Akiva's smicha when they gave, I think it was Shimon Hatimani. Okay, Zog the Yimada.
But today they give both smicha.
Yeah, aber Shahal to Rabachim. Meisvei, Fek Yimada Akasha. Shlishis, we learned 3 of the Sanhedrin, Chach Choma, so wise Sanhedrin. V'yis, if it's 4, there's no greater than that. So, for Yimada, this is, before we said 2 Dayanim is enough to be, 2 Dayanim with no the Shim L'Shenis is enough to make it a wise Bezdin. So, Yimada, who the Hamaki Haitana? Rav holds like this Tana, the Tanya that we learned in the Braisa, Shniya, 2 Dayanim of the Sanhedrin that speak the 70 L'Shenis, Chachama is a wise Bezdin, a wise Sanhedrin. And it's kosher. Shlishis, but if there's a Sanhedrin that has even just 3 Dayanim, there's nobody higher than that. And the other Braisa says it's 3 and 4. 3 is a wise Bezdin, and 4 ain't l'mayla yimenu. So you want l'meid in lefnei chachamim. When you have this saying that they learned before the chachamim, who is it referring to? Levi that learned Rebbe for Rebbe. Now he's going to give you all different. Don lefnei chacham. They debated before the chachamim. Who's that referring to? Shimon ben Azai, Shimon ben Zema, Chonan Hamitz, Chanani ben Chachinoi. They were the ones that they debated. Those are the 4 Tanoim that they when it says people debated with in front of the Chacham, these were the Chacham. Like yes, Rav Nachman, Rav Yitzchak, Masni Chamisha. There were 5 who they debated. Those were the 5 Chacham. Who? Shimon ben Azai, Shimon ben Zema, Shimon Hatimani. This 3rd Shimon of Hatimani we didn't say before. That's going to be the 5th one. Chana and Chananya. Rabbi Singh Shabbat. When we say the expression Rabbi Singh Shabbat, Rabbi Shmuel. That's going to Rabbi Shmuel. They were the Rabbi Singh Shabbat. Rabbi Singh Shabbat Yisrael. Who's that referring to? Rabbi Abba. Dayoni Goyla. The Dayoni Goyla. That's Karna. Dayoni Yisrael. Rabbi Abba. Rabbi Asi.
In every area was different.
These are the sayings. Whenever you hear these terms. Like Dayon the Yisrael, it's referring to Rabbi Rabbi Asi. Dayon the Pumbedisa, Rabbi Shmuel. Dayon the Adar, Rabbi Manyumi. Savi the Surah, the elders of Surah, Rav Chisda is referring to Rav Chisda. Savi the Pumbedisa, the elders of Pumbedisa, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Eina. Charifei the Pumbedisa, the sharp ones of Pumbedisa. That's 8 for Ba'avimi b'nei Rachava. Amaroyim the Pumbedisa, the Amaroyim of the Pumbedisa. Rabbi Yosef, that goes on Rabbi Yosef. Amaroy Nahadoi, that's Rav Choma. Nehaboli, Nehabeloi Masnu. Nehabeloi learned, that's Rami Bar Berebi.
Omri. So he had a big choice over here to go.
Yeah, but he's just telling you, whenever you hear these terms, these are the people that it's referring to.
So you choose whatever you want.
No, it says terms. You find terms, these terms is this Tana, this terms is this person. Amri Beirab, when you hear the saying that they said in the Beis Medrash of Rav, that the kavanah is lehavhuna. It means Rav Huna. Va'omar Rav Huna fact, you wonder, how could you say Beit Rav is Rav Huna? Well, I'm Rav Huna, I'm the Beit Rav. Rav Huna Techaleng is up, that the Beit Rav says. What is he going to say? Rav Huna says, I'm a Beit Rav, it's somebody other than Rav Huna. It's not Rav Huna, it's Rav Hamnuna. Amri Ma'arava, the people in Ma'ariv, meaning in Eretz Yisrael, said, that's Rav Yirmiyah. Sholch Mitom, they send, meaning from Eretz Yisrael, who is the sender? Rav Yosef Rav Chanina. Machechu Allah b'Ma'arava, the people in Eretz Yisrael laughed. Who is it referring to? Rav Elazar. Rav Elazar Gilach. How do you say Sholch Mitom? Rav Yosef was the sender. Sholch Mitom, lefi dim Rav Yosef Rav Chanina. It says they sent from there, that according to Rav Yosef Rav Chanina. How could it be? He's sending from there, according to Yashayla, according to Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef is the sender. What do you mean according to Rav Yosef? Switch it around. Shochlin is Rav Elazar. And those that laughed, the people that were laughing at Rav, that's Rav Yosef Rav Chanina. Thank you. How many people have to be in the city, that it should be fit to have a Sanhedrin Kitana? Maybe ask me, you need 120. What's the cheshbon 120? Maybe ask me, I'll tell you. 120, what are you going to do? How do you get to 120? He says, you need 23 for the small Sanhedrin. And then you had another 3 shuris in front of the Sanhedrin Kitana, just in case they had to pick one of the Chachamim from, so they would pick from these 3 shuris. So you had, so you have 23 times 4. The Sanhedrin Kitana is 23, and then 3 shuddahs of 23. So 23 times 4, so far you have 92. Then you have Hasar Batlan, Shabbat Saknasis. You need Hasar Batlanim to be Masham for a minion. You need, that's how it works. So 92. No, sure not. So the Hasar Batlanim, the Beis HaKnesses, here he brings down what would they done. Bismani Atfilah in the morning and the evening. And Hagazum and Vusas says, because it says that the Eibishter would come to Shul, Bisman Atfilah. If he wouldn't find 10 people, the Eibishter immediately would get angry. That's why you always had Asad Batlanim. So that makes it into 92. Adei Meyo today, you have 102. Ushnei Seifim, you had 2 people that scribed by the Bezdin. Ushnei Chazanim. Chazanim are the 2 Shamashim. If they had to give Malchus, they were the guys who you appointed them to give Malchus.
That's why you call Chazanim.
Yeah. Ushnei Baladinim, you had the 2 Baladinim, the Tevei and the Nitva. And then Ushnei Eidim, you had to have 2 Eidim. And then Ushnei Zemim, you had to have Eidim Zemim that could be Mazim the first Eidim. And then Zemim, then you need another 2 Eidim to be Mazim the first Eidim Zemim. Arei Meya V'Abeisa. So far you have 114. Okay? So now we're up to, we have 6 more to go. Tanya, we learned Kol Ish Halalu. Any city that didn't have these 10 things, Ein Talmid Chacham Rashay Lad V'Seicha. A Talmid Chacham is not allowed to live there. What are the 10 things? Aleph, Bezdin, Makim Oishin. You need a Bezdin that gives Makis and punishes. Yeah, but it has to be able to. Here he says Makim Oishin. They have to be able to put this guy in jail to wait to see if the guy's going to die within 24 hours, then he's a killer. If he lived more, then he's not going to be considered as a killer. That's the second one was the Kuppah Shel Tzedakah. The Kuppah of Tzedakah, you needed Nigvus B'Shnayim. Had to be collected with 2 people. It was Chalekes, and it was divided between the Anim and Shleisha. They needed 3 people to see how many people in the family has to give out. It's 3. So you have 2 and 3 so far. Right, Beis HaKnesses. You needed a Beis HaKnesses in that city for a Chacham to live there, Beis HaMechatz. You needed a bathhouse, Beis HaKisei, a bathroom, a doctor, a woman, somebody who lets have love and lavla, and an author of a book, or a butcher, and a teacher. So you also need all kinds of payers because it's for their eyesight. From this brisa, you have 6 people. How? 2 that collected tzedakah, 3 that distributed is 5. Now, who's the 6th one? The 6th one, he was a multitask guy. He was a doctor. He let out blood. He was an author of a book, and he was a teacher, a jack of all trades. He was the 6th one. That's it. We have time? Not really.